Hello everyone. Today we're doing some maintenance on this older unit. Basically just some cleaning. And the reason we're going to clean this is obviously we've got some mildew, we got debris in here. Another thing though, we have rust and corrosion here at our drain port. This is an RV AC unit. Now, I've already got some of these bolts removed, but we're going to clean this and make this more efficient. And we're going to help preserve this. We're going to clean up this rust. We're going to paint over this. Give you a quick breakdown of how this is set up. This is our inside blower. This is where our air comes in, hits the coil, blows back down into the RV for cooling. Then of course here's our motor, here's our condenser. So that's our evaporator core inside of that. This is our condenser over here. Like I said, this is an older unit. So obviously you can see dirt, grime, corrosion, and so on and so forth. But we're also, while we're cleaning this thing, we're also going to make this thing a little more efficient. Like I said, over here is our evaporator core, but as you can see, this is a metal box. And even though this isn't aluminum, silver, or copper or anything, and it doesn't transfer heat as fast as a lot of those materials here. The trick to that, though, is that you could use something like stainless steel, and it would, you could use stainless steel as a heat transfer. The trick is that the material is thin. So the thicker a material is, the more time it takes for heat to transfer, more insulating it is. And this is really thin metal, so we're actually gaining a lot of heat and energy through this metal box here because it's quite thin. And as you can see, the way this came manufactured is it's got a very thin layer of styrofoam, and even that's coming off. And so basically we're introducing a lot of energy from the outside into our system, and it makes our system work harder, makes the current go up. Another reason why I have to do maintenance on this is because our breaker is tripping. So if I can clean out the coils a little bit for more airflow, that's going to slightly drop the current of our fan motor here, because if you have dirty filters or your coils are clogged, what's going to happen is you're going to restrict airflow. That's going to put more resistance on your blower motor, and that's actually going to cause the current to go up. We're going to clean out the coils. I got a shop back up here and all that jazz. And we're going to straighten up some of these coils, and then we're also going to add some, after I clean this off, we're going to add more insulation. I've got some great stuff, window and door foam stuff. We're going to use this to help, and I'm going to find some scrap foam, and we're going to re-insulate this is what we're going to do. And that's going to make this whole thing a little more efficient. Or I should say this old thing a little more efficient. So let's get to it. All right, now we're going to crack this open and have a look-see at the innards. Because I got a little bit of dust and stuff I got to vacuum out of there with some brushes and stuff. I couldn't quite reach from the inside, so I'll lift that up. And then we've got a little bit of a seal, a sticky seal right here. Yeah, it's holding up a little bit better than I thought in some spots here. Let's see if I can peel it back. There we go. Yeah, you can see how thin this metal is, so heat transfer is really quick here. It does not take very long at all for the heat to transfer into this. As you can see how thin that metal is. So basically that's just like the rest of the components. It's basically a heat sink to the outside, and we don't need that. Let me give you a shot of these coils from the front. Of course, so now as you can see here, we have our actual inside of our air system, and we got dust buildup. Got some corrosion and rust down in the bottom, some cobwebs, temperature sensor, and so on and so forth. So let's get the vacuum and the brush and let's get this cleaned up. So inside of here we got some where our condensation collects from the inside air onto these coils here. We have a pan down here at the bottom to collect it and drain out the side of it. However, when looking inside of this, as you could see a minute ago, I was sticking a long stick in there, vacuum stick, trying to suck out some of this stuff. That pan is full of rust, dirt, and a farm of growing something, mildew, mold, God knows what. And we got to get that cleaned out. And I got a water hose that's going to help. Because if we can get this nice and clean, that means we have better air quality. God knows what we've been breathing or getting in my mouth from cleaning. Oh, I don't know about y'all, but it's hot. I have got to remove the blower motor because now the blower motor on the inside is caked with dust and probably, who knows, maybe mold or something nasty like that. And it's not that so because it being dirty, this is going to cause us to use more current, more power, or well, I'm not going to say necessarily more current, like because the blower motor has dust and accumulated dust, it has accumulated mass, although it's very slight and possibly, we would call that negligible. But the problem is that we are not moving as much air as we are designed to do. And so if we clean that out, that's going to help with our efficiencies, because if we can move more air for the same amount of power, our efficiency goes up. So I have got the power off and I've got to remove the blower motor. All right, well, I'm still in the process of removing the blower motor. Pick up the tripod here. I'm in the part of cleaning up the condenser coils. As you can see, there's a layer. Whew. Stood up too fast, I'm lightheaded. There is a layer of dust and debris that is completely blocking the condenser. So of course that's going to cause us to use more electricity, less efficiency. So I started cleaning that too. I have to unbolt some of the panels and so on. And I'm using the shop vac with, it can suck up water and dried materials, and it can also blow and of course vacuum. Oh, this thing is extremely dirty. And this is where all of your efficiency goes after time. Everything gets dirty, corroded, uses more electricity, cools less, and just loses efficiency over time. Oh, let's get back to it. Jesus, it's hot. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back after a few hours of cleaning. Got this all put back together, cleaned out the condenser the best I could. It's so old that the fins, the aluminum fins on the condenser coil have corroded so much that they're just kind of falling off and flaking. But it is clean, and there's a lot more air that can pass through it now. Of course, we got our top back on. I got everything cleaned up for the most part. I gotta bend some tabs back down, but next step is going to be this stuff. We're going to re-insulate this a lot better. Well, that didn't work. All right, let's get it sealed up. Of course, I'll have to tear this stuff off later for servicing, but that's going to be a while, so. Handy dandy job, if I say so myself. Well, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think, and y'all have a good one.